Limerance is something people talk about all the time. We've all liked or loved someone with either not really knowing them or just idealizing them in our head. They give us a little smile, and suddenly we picture our future with these people. And I want to talk about that today because I have done that. And as someone who talks a lot about self love and respecting and loving yourself and having high standards, I also do this as well. I think it's so funny, so interesting how our brains sometimes just take and identify people and place them in these storylines in our head without them really living up to them. And I don't know, I just think it's so interesting. I was thinking about this the other day because this also happened to me where there's been some guys that I've liked even recently in these past couple of years where I didn't really know the guy, and obviously I would want to get to know this person, but if they don't feel as interested in me, then that's okay, right? But I'll be interested in this guy, and even though I know deep down I need to get to know this guy to a certain level where we either become friends, I get to know more about his life, his backstory, his wants and desires and future ideas. I always find myself having some sort of positive interaction, whether it's a smile, a compliment, complimenting how I look, or something so small that means absolutely nothing, and it will have my heart fluttering. And then I will know deep down, I don't know anything about this guy, and a crush is a lack of information. We gotta get Tata on the screen here for emotional support. But yeah, I'll think, I don't know anything about this man. I don't know if I get to know him and I hate him. I don't know if I get to know him and I look at myself and say, Mel, what were you doing or what were you thinking? I don't know anything about this man. I don't know if he lives up to whatever I'm looking for in my future. But all I know is that this man just smiled at me and he just gave me this look. And suddenly my heart's fluttering, and now I'm picturing our future together. But I actually don't really know you. Why do we do that? It's so weird. I don't know what makes us do this, or I think a lot of women experience it. It's probably something that men experience as well, this state of maladaptive daydreaming. But it's just something that's so interesting to me. Just the idea that our brains take us places knowing that the person in real life maybe isn't like that at all. Why do we do this? It's just weird. It happened to me. It's happened to me so many times where I like someone only simply based on some interaction that was a little romantic, but it didn't have much meaning to it and it didn't follow through. But I'm left with that image in my head, and I'm picturing these fake scenarios in my head with this person, and I'm picturing all these things about this person that when I really don't know them, but I just want them to be how I would want my future partner to be like, and then I fit them in this mold and picture them that way, which makes me intensify my feelings for the guy when deep down I don't even know him. This is something people have also experienced, the state of rumination and the state of idealization, where we move quickly because we're pretty much creating this idea of this person in our heads to be someone that they're really not. And a lot of people also have a hard time with moving slowly because we overestimate how much we know someone, and we think that because we've had this little banter and this little chemistry, which by the way, chemistry and banter is deceiving. It's a lot of times just your mind loving the way that they kind of trigger the chemicals in your brain in this way, and it makes you just crave them. But it doesn't. A lot of toxic relationships start off with good chemistry, by the way. So sometimes boring can be good. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that we just have this chemistry or banter with someone, and we can kind of feel as though that it's going down the right path. But then you realize deep down that you needed more time to get to know this person. And then all of a sudden, it's not working out. And then you look back at your past self and you're just laughing at yourself. Why was I idealizing this girl or this guy? And I think it's something about love is so interesting because it just makes us get ahead of ourselves sometimes. I think that's what I like about crushes though, is because as someone who really does enjoy genuinely just this alone time and the freedom that I have, I think my mind does take me places where I'll have all these crushes on these people, and I genuinely know deep down that I'm just being delusional. I'm just being delusional. And it's really fun though. It's fun to be delusional sometimes. But then sometimes you have to come back to reality and just think about it deeply that, this person is just idealized in your head. But why do we do this? I don't know. I don't know why. And let's also talk about the gap between knowing better but your body not reacting that way, because people experience this a lot. Also, this happens to a lot of creators where there'll be this woman and she will talk about how much don't settle for a man, this and that, be the best person you can be, treat people this way, be, someone who has all these values so then you can attract a partner with those same values. And this idea of becoming almost self-actualization where you become your best self and you attract someone of that quality as well. And then what happens is sometimes they get into a relationship with a bad person, they go through this toxic cycle, they end up going through heartbreak. And I really want to talk about the gap between knowing better but not being able to do better, because this is such a real thing where I do this all the time, and I know deep down that what I'm looking for in a relationship, and I'll think I want all these non-negotiables, and obviously you have to be realistic, but I have all these things that I'm not willing to compromise on. But then I'll just find myself liking someone over the smallest thing, like them giving me a certain look, a certain way. No joke, I literally mean 3 seconds. They give me a certain look and my heart just starts beating and fluttering. And then I just think, oh shoot, now I like you, but I know deep down that why do I like you? You know what I mean? But our body just reacts chemically to people, and I love that feeling. Even though it's kind of bad because sometimes you like people that you shouldn't like because you know them. You know that these people are not anything similar to what you're interested in or what you would work out with. But it would still happen to me. Like, I'm trying to think. I remember when I was in high school. This was a couple years ago, and there's this guy I liked. Pretty much the whole 4 years of high school, I liked him on and off, but I liked him. And there's a time where, obviously I'm a kid, but he complimented my socks, and I was in class, and so he was sitting across from the room, and I was sitting far away, but he was looking at my socks from afar. So he called out my name and complimented my socks. And obviously I'm a teenager, so spare me this embarrassment. But literally when he said that, I don't know what was wrong with me, but my heart started to flutter a little bit because he called my name, and he also was looking at me from afar to see, like, how could you, I don't know what's wrong with me. But he called my name and everybody looked at me, and then he complimented my socks. And I remember at that age, I like people so easily, and that second he complimented me, I literally developed a crush on him. And I'm thinking to myself, what is actually wrong with you, Mel? Are you okay? Just over that. And then it's also happened to me before where, oh my gosh, there's a situation where I was with this guy. So when I was in high school, there was this class I was in. It was musical theater, and it was during quarantine. I was a sophomore. This was quite a bit ago now, because I have also graduated high school, but a couple years now. It's been years since I graduated, but I still remember this vividly. I was a sophomore, and we had this musical theater class where we had to break out into rooms, and there was this one guy, I really liked him, And of course, I had to end up in a breakout room just with that guy. So I had to do a whole monologue in front of him and him critique me. Like, I might as well just kill myself. Like, why am I. That's so embarrassing. I don't know what it is about acting, but I admire actors because for me, when I act, I feel so embarrassed. I can't explain the level of embarrassment you feel. Someone perceiving you as acting, it's cringe. It's cringe. I'm sorry, it's cringe. But I had to do a monologue, and I was alone with the guy, and I remember him just watching me do the monologue and complimenting me on it. First of all, it was terrible because he was a good actor, and I literally felt like I was in love with him. How old was I? 15. But I just think, what is wrong with you? But anyway, fast forward to now. I don't really like people very easily, but whenever I do like them, sometimes it's always a very small instance. And it's just that I need to get more time to talk to them, and I normally lose feelings because I actually face the reality of the person and I say, okay, this is really how this person is. But I just think that this idea of idealizing people is so funny to me because we really see people and have good interactions and literally will just completely just forget that we actually have to get to know this person and start to like them so much. But yeah, why do we do that? It's kind of weird.